Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you from all the places in the world that you're joining from, this beautiful Sangha. My name is Nikki Murgafori. I'm joining you from Mountain View, California, unceded Ohlone land. And delighted to be with you this week, supporting Gil as he's away this week, traveling. So for the theme for this week, I'd like to continue with the theme of compassion. I know that Gail spoke about the 7 factors of compassion last week, and there was so much to explore. We're not done in 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year exploring this practice of compassion. I continue to learn and explore it. It's a lifetime or maybe multiple lifetimes practice. So we'll explore it this week in different ways, from different dimensions or different ways to look at it and and perhaps slice the pie or cut the cake from different layers, looking at compassion for ourselves, for others, what supports it, what blocks it, in a practical way, in a very practical, useful way. News you can use, and of course all of Dharma is applicable to our daily lives. Anyway, without further ado, let's sit together, let's practice together. So I'd like to invite you to come to your seat, come to your body, and if it's comfortable for you, maybe take a couple of deep diaphragmatic breaths into the belly, or rather let the belly breathe in the air. Hold for a few seconds and release with a sound if you like. The way to arrive, become centered. Maybe a couple more in your own time. Holding for a few seconds, letting go. And now letting the breath be natural, however it is. Shallow or deep. A few deep breaths can help us physiologically to reorient as a bridge from activity and perhaps a sense of hyperdrive, a more sense of calm, retuning, reorienting. If the mind is particularly busy right now, connecting with the entirety of the breath, the pause and the out breath. And let us turn to the breath, to the sensations of the breath within the body, within the framework of the body. Not breath as a concept, but a felt sense within this body that senses, feels, aches, turning our awareness, our knowing, intertwined with kindness towards this body. Not so much in the way of whipping it to shape, to sit and concentrate on this practice, but making kindness, compassion the object of our practice towards this body, the parts of this body. Softening, relaxing. If there is any discomfort or challenge in the body, areas of tightness, achiness, turning to these areas, holding this area of the body with our awareness, with our spacious knowing, intertwined with kindness. The same way that a loving mother holds a newborn tenderly, especially if the newborn is crying in some discomfort. Patiently holding, loving, rocking this tender, precious life. Same attitude. Can we hold this body? Especially if there are areas of challenge, discomfort, unease. and we tune into compassion for this body. In this moment in time, and in general, this body that aches, sometimes gets sick, ages. If there's any challenge right now, tuning into the patience and compassion and the delight. There is delight, a quiet joy in being patiently loving. There is a source of strength and uprightness, courage, in turning towards what hurts with love. Practicing to patiently hold, lovingly hold physical discomfort is training for being able to hold and be kind with mental, emotional challenges. It's the same process. The same relaxed, spacious body. If there is any emotional challenge, disappointment, judgment, pain. In this moment in time, can we too breathe with it, patiently be with it, with the same stance of a loving mother holding a tender newborn? Same gesture of the heart, not trying to rush through it, but patient, loving, stable. It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay. Taking time to hold disappointments, challenges, not to ruminate. Let go of the story. Let go of the story. Not helpful at all. But simply holding with kindness, with patience, the tenderness, whether physical or emotional. And notice the wholesomeness, the goodness of turning towards instead of pushing away. Breathing with. It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay. Calling yourself kindly. May I have ease with this disappointment, sorrow, pain. May I have ease and peace and freedom of heart. With this challenge. May I meet this difficulty with kindness. As much as possible. And as we begin to close this meditation, can we note the sense of uprightness and goodness, wholesomeness? There is in meeting what's difficult with kindness, turning towards with patience, kindness, instead of pushing it away or judging it or berating ourselves or ruminating. There is a wholesomeness in just meeting what's difficult with kindness. An uprightness, a quiet strength. As we bring this meditation to a close, appreciating that we showed up. If there are any judgments arising for how it was or wasn't, can we meet that dagger of self-judgment with kindness? Appreciating ourselves and our beautiful Sangha for showing up and planting seeds of kindness, compassion towards ourselves and the world. Compassion starts with ourselves. May we be of service. May we serve compassionately. May we be kind to this being who is us, to all those whose lives we touch, directly and indirectly. May all beings everywhere be free, have ease with their challenges, with their suffering. May all beings be well, may all beings be free, including ourselves. Thank you, friends. Thank you for your practice. And if you like, if you feel moved, you are welcome to put a word about what is coming up for you in this moment. So I take a moment to transition the recordings. Greetings, everyone. Lovely to be with you this week, practicing together around the theme of compassion, continuing the theme. And as we just did a meditation together, I asked you to, if you wanted to, put a word or a phrase in chat about what's coming up for you. And the theme of our practice, of course, was compassion for the body, for our own hearts, starting with the self. A few words: tears, beautiful and helpful; gratitude, peace; compassion for myself, to myself, for restlessness. Yes, great. Ease, tranquil, appreciation; courageous vulnerability. Yeah, just reading a few words. Thank you for bringing those into the space. I needed that compassion this morning. Yeah. Steadfast kindness. Beautiful. So many beautiful nuggets we're bringing back in to support each other. Some compassion for this tired body. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kindness to disappointment. Beautiful. Thank you all. Thank you for being in there and really engaging with this practice. Just so beautiful. I am so touched by this beautiful international Sangha. Engaging and supporting each other in this way, in this way. So, I feel nourished in this moment by both our practice as I'm in there leading you from these states myself, and it is nourishing. It's really a beautiful strength of the heart to be with challenges instead of rushing through them, and it takes time. It takes patience. So compassion, so much we can say about this and so much we can explore. So what I like to turn into today is compassion for self-compassion as the basis for compassion to others, compassion to the world, etc., etc. And maybe I'd like to take a step back first and offer a definition, maybe a couple of definitions of compassion, just so that we're on the same page. We have a sense of what compassion is, and many of you have been practicing for a long time, and yet it helps to reconnect with okay, what are we talking about? So it's not a fuzzy, compassion, which is, banty about this word. So in the Theravada tradition, kindness or metta is the first practice of the heart. Kindness, loving kindness, goodwill. And basically, what kindness or goodwill is just the kindness of the heart. Say, when you are walking around and you smile to a neighbor, or just a very simple sense of goodwill, just simple kindness. It's not complicated. We all have it. Readily access it many, many times a day when you see someone you care about. Oh, there's just a sense of simple care, goodwill. Now, this metta, M-E-T-T-A, or translate as kindness, loving kindness, love, goodwill, so many nuances. It's basically kindness of the heart that meets a being who is in a neutral state, neither suffering nor happy, just kind of like kindness of the heart. Okay. Now, if you take the same kindness, same metta, and it meets suffering, it meets the suffering, either your own suffering or suffering of someone else, some other being, that metta, when it meets suffering, it holds suffering, becomes compassion. So compassion is love, metta plus suffering. In other words, it's also been said that compassion is the love child of love and suffering. So there needs to be a challenge. So some kind of pain, suffering, difficulty, and it is met with kindness. Okay? So that is one way to consider metta, to consider compassion, in Pali, karuna. And of course, just to give you if you have not heard this before, if the same kindness, metta, meets joy in the world, someone who's very happy, or your own joy, then it gets expressed as mudita, vicarious joy. joy for the joy of others, or also if it's for ourselves, it gets expressed as gratitude, which is the third Brahma Vihara, the third practice of the heart. Metta being the first one, Metta, Karuna being the second Brahma Vihara, Mudita being the third, and the fourth one being equanimity, Upekkha. The Brahma Viharas being the practices of the heart, the heavenly abodes practices. And many of you have practiced this already. And if you've been coming to the happy hour in the evening, you've practiced with various dimensions of these practices. So compassion is meeting suffering with kindness. Now, there are aspects that are required for compassion. We need to have an awareness of suffering. We need to know that this is hard, this is painful, and really that first cognitive knowing that suffering is happening is the most important aspect, because often we don't grok that, oh, this is suffering, this is pain, this is disappointment, this hurts. That first ouch is the most important, is really the most important step first. How many times have you been yourself suffering, having a challenge, and just bulldozing through it? I know for me, many of you know that I've had a chronic illness for many years, and at the beginning, when I was just trying to get my head around it, I would be tired and aching, and I wouldn't grok it. I wouldn't grok that actually I'm not feeling well. I'd be, okay, come on, let's get going. You've got work to do. You've got emails. Like, come on, let's going. Like, there would be judgment. Like, it took a while to realize, oh, sweetheart, wow, you are tired. You are in pain. This is hard. Ouch, this is hard. So that first recognition allowed a wise response, which was kindness, patience, the appropriate response to come in. But without that acknowledgement, also towards others too, like, oh, they're just being fussy, or they're just being this, or we label it with very sometimes unkind. We miss that, oh, this person is struggling, this person is having a hard time. So that cognitive, taking a pause to have that cognitive awareness is very important. And often, if we are rushing through life, if we feel stressed ourselves, if we are internally stressed, externally stressed, and not taking a moment to pause and realize, and that pause, as you've been practicing, you realize that pause becomes more and more available the longer we practice. And yet, it is important to have this in the background of our minds, to take a pause. Oh, what is happening? How am I perceiving this situation? Is it really what it is, or am I perceiving it through through my eyes of rushing about? And compassion for self, kindness for self, really is the basis for kindness and compassion for others. It's really the starting point, is the starting point. We can't fill other people's cups if we haven't filled our own cup first. We have to fill our own cup. And self-compassion is not selfish. It's not self-aggrandizing. It's not enabling. And in fact, there are research studies that suggest that when we are self-compassionate, we take more responsibility for our actions, not less. We don't become enabling, like, oh, whatever, but actually we take more responsibility. And maybe I'll just take 1 minute to share one of these studies with you, and many studies, but one of them is the work of Mark Leary and colleagues, that and they found that when participants were instructed to be self-compassionate when thinking about a past mistake, humiliation, or failure, they were more likely to accept personal responsibility for what happened instead of blaming things outside, or events outside. And that makes sense, right? When we have a sense of kindness for ourselves, we can accept our own failings. Like, oh, sweetheart, yes, that was unskillful. Yeah, you screwed up. It's okay. I still love you. It's okay. We'll do better next time. You see, it's more available. Whereas if we don't have that, if we have self-judgment, like then we don't have the capacity to acknowledge that we screwed up. It's like, oh, no, it wasn't me. No, it was their fault. We point finger everywhere because there's no capacity. Because if we we acknowledge that we screwed up. Oh, ouch. There are going to be so many daggers. There are going to be so many daggers. So self-compassion allows us to actually take more responsibility for our actions in the world, and is the basis for compassion towards others. So in this brief time, we talked about some definition, perhaps one definition of compassion. There is more. We talked about the importance of knowing, of that ouch, of acknowledging, of awareness of suffering, whether it's physical, emotional, internal, external, and self-compassion really being the basis for compassion for others. There's a lot more to explore, and I'm delighted that we have the rest of this week to practice together. So thank you so much, dear ones. May you be compassionate to yourself the rest of the day. May you take time, pause. If there is an ouch, physical, emotional disappointments, to just acknowledge, maybe just with a hand on your heart, or just saying ouch, to practice with this for the rest of the day. Thank you so much. Be well, and looking forward to being with you tomorrow.